Until recently, getting a list of the last few tweets from a user was as simple as making a call to the Twitter API. So you could do something like this, just call twitter.com/status/user timeline and then put a user's ID here and then add .json and then specify some things like the count and maybe a callback. And when you enter that into a browser, you could actually get a list of the tweets in the JSON format. But that doesn't work anymore because Twitter has removed that version of their API. So I have a course in the lynda.com library that shows you how to create an application in jQuery Mobile. And it was using this to show you a list of the latest tweets from a specific account. But with the new version of the API, that doesn't work. So I wrote a gist at this URL that's going to allow you to duplicate some of the functionality in the old Twitter API using PHP. You can go ahead and download this gist onto your desktop. And when you do, you're going to get a file like this. We're going to need to put this on a server. But before we do that, we need to take care of a few things. Now, the first thing I need to do is to go to dev.twitter.com/apps and then log in with my Twitter account. So I'll put in my credentials here. And then I'll log in. Once I'm in here, I should see a list of the applications that I've created. I've already made an application for this project, but you'll need to create a new application by clicking on this button right here. Now, when you do, it's going to ask you a series of questions: the name of the application, a description, the website that you're going to put this in, and then a callback URL. This is where the application will come back to once the account has been authenticated. I've already done that, so I'm going to click on this back button and just show you this one right here that's already done. So once you do that, you'll get a page like this, and this page will have a series of tabs. So if you go to the settings part, you'll see all the stuff that we typed in originally. And one of the things you want to do here is select the application access. So if you're just reading tweets from an account, all you need is read-only access. If you want to be able to read and write, you may want to change that to read and write. And here's where you put the callback URL. That should just be the URL to the location of your application. But we need to get some information from this page, and that's actually going to be on this Details tab. If you scroll down, you're going to get a bunch of information that you'll need to enter into your gist. So I got this file open in my text editor, and I need to get this bunch of information. So I'll switch over to the Twitter developer page and grab the consumer key, and that will need to be right here under consumer key. And then I'll also need to grab the consumer secret, which is right here, and paste that right there. And then I need a couple of pieces of information that this file is going to call user token and user secret. In your page, they're going to be known as the access token and the access token secret. So when you go to Twitter, you have to scroll down here and get this access token. So I'll copy that and I'll switch over here and I'll paste that right there. And I'll also need the access token secret, which is right here. So I'll copy that and then I'll paste that right here. So now I'm going to save this file, and it's ready to be copied into my FTP folder. The next thing we're going to need is on this page, and it's a library written by Matt Harris that allows us to work with OAuth, which is an authorization library. So from this page, we're going to click on this download zip link, and then we're going to decompress it. I've already done that, and it's right here on my desktop. The only file that we're going to need from right here is going to be this tmhoauth.php. So I'm actually going to copy that into my FTP folder, as well as the tweets_json.php that I just edited. So I'll copy that in here as well. The next thing I'll need is an authorization certificate. You can find that right here. So just type this into your browser and then go to the file menu and select Save Page As. You might be using another browser, so that might be slightly different on yours. And then just you would hit save here. I've already got it on my desktop, so I don't have to do that. So I'm going to grab that as well from my desktop and put it on my server. Okay, so there's all the three files. So now we should be able to call our tweets_json.php file and get something from it. I'm going to go to the website that I put these under. I've used source.com/exercises/tweet-test. And then I'm going to add tweets_json.php. And if I call that, you should see something like this. Now, this looks really complicated, but this is a feed of the latest tweets from my account in the JSON format. And my tweets.json.php file actually has some different parameters that you can pass it. So for example, if you just want a single tweet, you could just pass a count parameter and then pass it a value of, say, 1. And that's going to return only one tweet. So if you want to, you can pass it an additional account. So I can say something like screen underscore name equals, and then some other account. I'm going to use this Barcamp, the land account that I have. And notice that now the information here is different. So in addition to that, if you want to use JSON-P, which we need to for our project, you can also pass a callback URL here. So you can pass ampersand and then callback, and then whatever the name of the function you want to use here. So I'm going to use the one that I use in my project called list tweets. And that will wrap everything with this list tweets function. So now that we've done that, we're ready to edit our project. Here I have the completed project that I was working with previously for my jQuery mobile web applications course. And I'm going to grab all this and just copy it to that same folder. So it's going to take a second to load. And now I'm going to edit this index.html file. So I'll open that up in my text editor. And I need to edit a couple of things from here. So if I go down all the way to the bottom of this page, I'm going to find a couple of places where I'm calling the Twitter API. So it's essentially right here at line 340 and also down here at line 345. So those have to be changed. So I need to really just delete all this. And I'm just going to call my new file, which is tweets_json.php. And in this version of the call, I'm asking for a specific count, which you can if you want to. If you don't, it'll just give you the latest ones. And then I'm also specifying a callback, which is fine because I programmed those into my PHP document. So that's all I need to do to make that one work. And then to make the other one work right here. So this one's going to look a little bit different. All we're going to do is call tweets_json.php once again, and then specify a count. We don't need to specify a callback. Before we were using a callback of question mark, which means there is no callback. And we were also specifying an account. But if we leave this off, I know that it's going to use the account that I created the application with. So just this will work perfectly for our project. So now I'm going to save this. And since I have an index.html document in this folder now, then I could just call the folder name. And that will show this application. And if we go to the tweet section, we should see a list of the tweets right now. So the new Twitter API does require a lot of extra steps, but with this little PHP file on your server, you should be able to duplicate a lot of the functionality from the old Twitter API.